The Loved Ones from 2009. Written and directed by Sean Byrne, who also wrote and directed The Devil's Candy.
Mm-hmm.
Girl.
I like that one too.
Yeah?
What
I have
were we
not
talking
seen
about?
that one.
Mm-hmm.
The Loved Ones.
The Loved Ones.
I wasn't listening.
When Brent turns down his classmate Lola's invitation to the prom, she concocts a wildly violent plan for revenge. At first, I had no idea what time period this was supposed to be. Evidently modern.
Did you figure it out?
Yeah, it's modern, right?
Tagline: Prom night can be torture.
The soundtrack was what was confusing me time-wise, period. Because like the music they're playing at prom seems like oldies almost.
I remember you were asking around the time he had his cell phone out.
Yeah, yeah. But how?
There's a few old cars too.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was just the beginning that I was really confused because they start off with like an '80s song. He's wearing a Metallica Ride the Lightning shirt, and everybody looks like a greasy dude from the '80s.
Was it Red Lightning? Was it Puppets?
I think it was Ride the Lightning. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it was Puppets.
Kill Them All poster was on the wall.
I think
He likes
sure it was
Metallica.
Puppets. He likes Metallica, but not Load and Reload. He didn't. None of those posters.
But this dude gets kidnapped, and then all kinds of fucked up shit happens. Some of it like the knives through the feet. That's too much for me, man. Like, I don't need that. I don't need that. It's too much. Too graphic.
You're saying that's too much?
Too much. It wasn't funny. It wasn't in a funny context.
I didn't laugh.
It was just horrifying. It was, but I can't fault it for that. That's its job. It was done well. That song that she plays all the time got stuck in my head for 2 days after we watched it. So,
am I not pretty enough?
Sing it.
oh my God. I don't know who that is. I don't know what it is, but they play that all the time while there's all kinds of violence happening, which was good.
Music was great. I loved the music of this movie.
Yeah, there was some stuff that was like, seemed like something they would, like on a Return of the Living Dead style shit, like the punk stuff that they were listening to in the car while that side sequence was going on. That's one of the problems I had with it. What was that? Going back to that so much for it. That could have been easily just a couple minutes there, show them get there, whatever. They could have dipped in once or twice, but they were there all the time in that fucking car with this dude.
Yeah, I don't really know. It was funny. It was his, I assume his best friend. They had that little interaction there while they were at school. Her dad is the cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that,
it was her brother that.
Yep.
The one girl had kidnapped. Was he the one that got away?
He was the guy.
They almost hit in the beginning.
Was it her brother or boyfriend?
And then she says you can't find him, or you still can't find him. So
was it her brother or boyfriend?
It was her brother.
Okay. Well, yeah. I don't know why they included that. I guess just to tie something together from the beginning.
Yeah, that's the only correlation. I don't. So
It was a parallel. Their night went the same.
I don't know.
As much as it wasn't a horror comedy, I did laugh a lot, like about the idea about like the she just can't fucking be killed.
I think it was a little bit of a horror comedy.
Yeah. There was some tinges of
It's
it.
cheeky.
Yeah, there was plenty of funny, like when they're throwing the rocks at him in the tree.
Yeah, what would you do if you were up there? Wouldn't you just
And
try
it's
to fight them both?
I think it's Australian.
Yeah, it's a drier humor, but there was a lot of humor in it.
If you were
It's
stuck
just not
in that
slapstick.
tree and they're throwing rocks at you, what do you do? Because I would fucking barrel right at him. I would try to. That's your only time to get away. He ends up back though. It was just, some of the scenes seemed like torture porn kind of stuff. Like, so I was a little bit. They could have cut him in half or whatever. I just think Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's barely any gore in that, but it's terrifying, right? They have this woman in these circumstances, but there's not really that much gore in it.
Yeah, I was kind of
you like gore. I'm not understanding.
I
what's
like
going
gore
on.
if you're using it in a comedy horror film like The Babysitter, where the dude gets stabbed in the head.
You don't
that
like
one guy gets-
serious when,
He likes
when they're being
cartoon.
serious.
Yeah.
cartoon gore.
I don't necessarily. It wasn't like I didn't like the movie for the stuff. It was just like a little bit. I don't like to go like ugh, like the whole fucking thing with the feet and the knives. That was the main thing. Everything else was cool.
I was expecting this to be more torture porn than what it was, but it ended up not getting heavy on that.
Yeah, it's just
It tiptoed around.
that was the only thing I had a bit of a problem with, was how much that bothered me, because I couldn't stop thinking about it.
It's violent. It's graphic.
It's the same reason I've never watched like Human Centipede or whatever the fuck that is. Like I would never watch that. Hopefully you guys don't ever pick that, because I don't want to watch that.
Gone to now.
Never seen it.
It's
just
They
It's
have
my-
like 3 of them now, don't they?
yeah. There's
Or
3
more?
of them, and I don't want to watch any of
it's
them.
my next pick.
Yeah, I will just. I'll just take some notes on that one. I don't need to see that to know how it works out. I saw somebody in a horror group though had asked, which position on the Human Centipede would you rather be? It's always the front, right? It's always the front. If you had to pick a position in the Human Centipede, you don't want the middle for sure.
I mean, you're getting someone behind you regardless. So, yeah, I don't want my face in an ass.
it's the only position.
Is
I
it
was like,
face
this
to
is-
ass? Is that how they do it?
It's face to asshole, and then so the person in the front just has.
I am, because I've never watched that either. I am curious how it's a movie.
How
Not
is it 3
how did it
movies?
get made, but like the storyline wise. Like the concept, I could hear the concept, but I've never heard more about it other than this is what's done in it.
Yeah.
Like so, I am
Oh.
curious. I may pick it one day.
Damn you, Jared.
I won't for the next one though.
Yeah, next time we should pick Christmas movies. I know what one I'm gonna pick if I can find it. It's gonna be Treevenge, man. I'm sorry. Treevenge, trees,
It's-
murdering people.
He posted a trailer. You didn't watch it?
No,
It's Treevenge.
It,
Gotta see if we can watch it.
I don't pay attention to
Gotta
it could
see
be up
online
your alley
presence.
for sure.
Yeah, it's
It
what
won't
I'm
be mine.
choosing. But hopefully we'll do a holiday episode next time. So,
What'd you give the loved ones?
oh,
So, all right, bye guys.
I gave it a 7.
Jared.
I gave this a 6.
I gave it an 8. I loved it. It looked good. God, the music, like certain shots are just beautiful. Like they nailed it.
The colors were great and
Yeah, it has
everything,
great
yeah.
color, great music, has violence.
The dad was the creepiest.
They're crazy, and it's funny you even brought up Texas 2 to.
Not Texas 2, the original Texas is what I was talking about.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because there's not like a lot of blood in
This
that one.
movie to me had a Texas 2 feel to it. Like it's.
Yeah, I could see what you're saying.
It was fun. It was great. I was in this movie the whole time.
Yeah, this one was a hard one for me to rate because it's a well-made movie, and I really can't think of anything to say, to criticize, to be like it needed to be better. It's pretty bland for me. I was pretty bored through the whole movie. Like,
Oh, and no one even mentioned the things in the floor.
yeah,
Like,
Oh yeah.
are those past?
The I guess
Boyfriends.
now that I think back, the knives through the feet was a little bit too much for me, and the drill scene. Oh my God, when she fucks up with that drill, and then old dad has to come in, and the guy's still trying to fight for his life. I was like, this is
great.
fucking crazy, man.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
for
So,
me it all just felt flat. It felt bland.
I was like
Wow.
gritting my teeth through that whole scene. I'm like, this is making me feel anxious.
'Cause I
real
didn't-
anxious.
I didn't have that.
I guess that's the purpose.
This is a good one.
It didn't, since it didn't go into like anything I thought was extreme, like it made my spine cringe, and the gore didn't make me laugh either. It just felt me. Okay, me.
But that song will stick in your motherfucking head. 3 days at least.
So I went with 6. I think it should be rated higher than that because it's a much more competent made movie than what I rate it. At the same time, 6 is higher than I enjoyed it too. I rated it higher than I enjoyed it. It was my least favorite of the last 2 episodes.
Now, if you're gonna pick any movie from this episode to watch. Anyone that listens, I recommend The Loved Ones. It's great.
I recommend all these movies because they're all great. I enjoyed every one of them. So seek them out.
Yeah, this is the only one. I was like me. I wouldn't tell anyone.
Don't listen to Jared. God.
Yeah.
But again, I don't have a strong reasoning. I don't think it was a bad made movie. If you think it looks good, it's probably good. But
Hey.
we got to the end. We got to the end of the movie, and what are you wrapping me up for, man?
Wrap
It's
it
only
up.
been
Well, my
32
battery's
minutes.
going to die. every
Wrap
year.
it up, Jared.
We got to the end of the movie, and I was just like, hey.
Take us out.
So, don't watch that movie that Jason wants you
Watch
to.
this movie.
Yeah, I say give it a go. But anyways, thanks for listening, guys. Rate and review us on iTunes, please, if you would. Even if you're watching this on video or whatever, go to iTunes and rate us and review us so we can bump up and do the thing that podcasts do. Yeah.
What's that?
Hopefully get popular. I don't know if you noticed, but our last video episode was about half. So half of the people that
Was
watched,
that the bonus footage you put
no,
up?
no. That one isn't even close.
So people tuned in, and then half of them were like, "No, not
They'll be
that."
back.
I've seen it once
You'll
before.
be back. Yeah, I'll repost it. Whatever. I'll shove it in people's faces forever, for eternity.